guys. Let's do some coloring. I feel like the filter is just a little too saturated, so I'm going to change that real quick. There we go. It's probably about a tiny bit better. Closer to what it should be. going through some questions that were asked in the past while I'm not live. Why do I color first and not outline? Well, some colors will tend to smear. And if I want lighter tones in certain areas, I need to do kind of the base colors first and then go in with the outline so that it doesn't bleed into my other colors. And the same thing goes for graphite too. Graphite can do the same thing. Kind of frustrating, but can. I kind of do an outline with these colors, but yeah, not black. Not yet. Why a Magikarp that looks angry? This one is changing because it's an angry Magikarp. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much as simple as I can put it. It's an angry one. So his ability or powers instead of splash is intimidate. Yeah, it doesn't even splash. I know. Weird, right? I think it's weird. Alright, hopefully I didn't mess that up. Adding that shadow in there. Hopefully we'll be okay. That's my hope anyway. Hey guys, thanks for joining. Thanks for the likes. Appreciate it. I know it seems odd at the moment, but it won't be. To use my other red. Where did I just put it? So I'm using, good question, I'm using mixed media, Faber-Castell, what are they? Pitt Artist Pen brushes. And I got Stadletter super soft color pencils, Gold Faber. So right now it's whatever works for this to make it look right. I mean, I'm gonna have to translate some of it and make it coherent, but yeah, because it's looking a little bit different than I intended. But I also don't have a huge range of colors, so I'm just kind of going with what I have to create this. And then I'll go in with some highlights and color over those too. Typically, kind of what I do. It's a process, man. So angry. I'm gonna see if I have any other colors here. I'm using a modified set. And I do not appear to have any others anywhere else. So, that's okay. Sorry guys, my audio was off, I apologize. Hopefully it should be fine now. Can't see what that does. It kind of blurs my scratch marks together, smooths it out just enough. think I've decided to go with this one just to kind of give it a base undertone instead of trying to mix all my colors together to figure it out. I think this will just be a little easier to utilize as a starting point. Hi guys, thanks for the follows. Really appreciate that. Draw Mammo Swine next. Guys, I apologize, my chat is not working, so I will put it on my phone for a bit. I don't know what a Mammo Swine is. I'm gonna have to look that one up. Mammo Swine. Oh, okay. I could do that one. I mean, I can do all of them and just... That one would be kind of cool. What kind of Mammo Swine are we thinking? Anything feature-wise different? Different elements? Different moves? I might have to move this eye out. This lip is looking funny to me, but... I mean, it's a Magikarp. It's kind of what it's supposed to be. Kind of weird. I just feel like it's kind of detached from the, but I can move that eye up. I can technically put the eye wherever I want. Make it work. But we'll see. Let's get this colored. And this one I'm trying to taper just a tiny bit. Basically, I am going soft in the beginning and then harder to taper it off. It's subtle, it's not like a lot. But sorry for my head being in the way there. Not being able to rotate this is a little bit more frustrating than, because you have to get your angles. You know, if you gotta move around, you gotta move around it. So, not a big deal, but could be frustrating for some. I could imagine. And you see me taking kind of little breaks in between. That's to kind of, you know, keep it, what's the word? Keep it, I forgot my train of thought now. Terrible. Oh, to let it set and dry. So that way I don't overwork an area and ruin the paper, essentially. So we're gonna put, got a request to do Mammo Swine. And we'll do that on this side here. And that idea was given to us by Tim Vault Sagas. On TikTok. Okay, so we'll work on that one next. How am I doing this? Kind of whoever comes up with it in order. I do have another commission that just came up, so there's a chance it might take a little while before we get to that, but what I'll try to do is take breaks. And we'll do a little bit of Pokemon sketching. Maybe I'll make it a slightly smaller one so it doesn't take as long, but I could always put it in my other notebook too, which goes a little bit quicker for some of these. So we'll do something like that. can't figure out why my hand's shaking right here. I mean, this is all going to get blended in. It's not going to matter as much. But could be just arthritis. Do little stretches. Get some stretching going. Hi guys, thank you so much for the follows and the likes. Really appreciate it. I do have my chat up and running. Go ahead and say hi. Oh my gosh, my chat is finally working on my desktop. That is weird. It's now all of a sudden working. Okay, cool. Well, neato. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and say hi, ask questions. There's never a dumb question. Well, there are, but like, you know, what would be dumb? Is that paper? Yeah, of course it's paper. But this is tan tone paper, one of my favorites. Just because it gives a really cool aesthetic, but it's already got a mid-tone. So, for instance, I got these spikes here. All I'm going to do is essentially add a little bit of pencil or gray to them to kind of offset the tone. But other than that, I'm not really going to color those areas. It's just going to be toned down. So that'll be kind of neat. Alright, so what am I doing here? I always get asked when I do weird stuff. Stuff out of order. So I am playing around with the look and tone of these, because this is all going to become darkened. So I am just messing around trying to keep this lighter for when I go to darken it, that it looks the way it should. But and you'll see what I'm talking about when I get there. I love these pens because these brush pens, because it's basically like painting. Just very precise. Ink comes out really nicely. It looks vibrant. And it's just ultimately such a favorite of mine, so that's what that is. I feel like if I don't get on around lunch, I miss you guys, so I apologize for that. But I will try to do more better when I have a chance to. My schedule's all over the place now, and it's always changing, so I'm trying to get back to a more set schedule. It's just taking some time. And so I made a mistake on my last stream that I had the name wrong for who came up with this idea. So if you find this person, let them know I am working on this. And I did fix it. I fixed the credit on it. But yeah, the other one that I messed it up with, we'll do one. Just let me know what you want me to do. So it'll be cool. And I might have to do a hyper-realistic koi fish at some point. I thought about that when I was doing this Magikarp. I have a koi that I took a picture of that I really liked in this pond and with the ripples and water, and just such a cool looking one in person, and I wanted to make some art out of that. This one, I'm not trying so hard to be perfect. I just want it to look cohesive and cool and whatnot. There we go. Now I'm starting to get that smear, that effect I wanted. This one's doing really well for some reason. But I think you can see what I mean. How it kind of makes it look pretty somewhat fluent. So, what was I doing down here? The dark red ones? Yeah, it was. And then I will go in and fill some of these areas so that it looks more correct. It's all about building building it up, doing the process, trusting it. I could probably listen back to some of the things I say and probably just be like, some of the stuff I say is probably stupid. But hopefully you guys find it helpful. Those of you watching and hanging out, lurking. might connect it up a little tiny bit here. Yeah. And then I'll just do that. I'll just bring it this way. And then I'll bring that eye out over here a little bit more so it looks right. Might look a little funny right now, but it's not gonna. So we'll bring that eye over here, kind of like that. Like the eyes really stick out. I'll just put a white highlight in there. And that'll make it look a little bit more cohesive, I think. So. Yes, this is red. It's more like a burnt umber. It's not quite as red. And I feel like I have more somewhere, but I have no idea where my other collection is of all these pens. This came from the fall collection. So. And I try to not push on the bristles too much. Stick to a certain drag, then I do a push, drag or pull. So, the idea is I'm just laying down color where I know it needs to go, and then I keep building on it. And I've kind of laid out my dark to light tones. So, yeah, that's kind of the process of what I'm doing. Serpent, thank you so much. I appreciate that. going in with the... This is technically not black, but it's cold gray 235. I mean, it's on this paper, it looks black. And it is one of my... I love the black and gray set. So... And yes, I understand this looks funny. It won't when it's all done. So. Pull out the slightly lighter tone of it here. Who do we got? Butthead. Hello. I think you finally caught me not at the end of my stream today. How are you doing? Hope your day is going well. Good. Glad to hear. Doing anything fun and exciting today or this week? Anything coming up? Calamity mod for Terraria. Cool. I don't know if I know what that one is offhand. I do know what Terraria is. I just don't know if I know Calamity. Is that newer? It sounds like something I'll have to get on because I haven't played Terraria in probably 10 years, I feel like. But I like those kind of games. One of the other ones that I played that I really enjoyed was it's like some space one that's like Terraria, but it's all like aliens and whatnot. I thought that was kind of cool. So I'll have to check it out again. There we go. It's about right. It's closer. Yeah, no, I just love how these mix together and kind of get the look that you need. And there's so many ways to experiment with them, with these pens. So but I think that's kind of what's pretty cool about it. Hans, yes. Welcome. I was hoping you were gonna join it, for a bit. Yeah, you mentioned this the other day, and I miscredited you, and I apologize. So, this was your idea. I fixed it. But yeah, no, I was in my chat, and I had just seen yours or something like that, but then it was someone else. I don't know. It was really weird how it was laid out on my screen, but anyways, yes, we are doing it. It's an angry Magikarp. It's probably just as useless as the other Magikarp, only this one's specialty, if you were to have caught it, is Intimidate. That's its backstory that I went with. So yeah, still looks really cool. Thank you, Hans. I appreciate that. Or Hannah's? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I apologize. You had a nickname, I think, right? Or not a nickname, but a different name? Anyways, feel free to remind me if I keep getting it wrong. Not a problem. Calamity. Butthead. Calamity is a very difficult mod. Oh, nice. Okay. Well, I'll check that out sometime. V. That's right. Cool. Alright. Try to remember that. I can just add it to this. V. There we go. Now I won't forget. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I don't know. It's still a useless Magikarp, but it's not so useless that you know, still looks pretty awesome. So yeah, that's the idea behind it. I feel like this is the one I should have went with, but this particular color here. The hard part about this particular paper is it absorbs the ink really fast and then wants to break away versus my notebook that I use. I use a bullet journal Lickterm, which tends to work a little bit better in some regards. So it allows me to smear and manipulate the inks a little bit more. But without it becoming overly saturated and ruining the paper fibers. So guys, thanks so much for the likes, the follows. Hugely appreciated. sure what I did here, but I seem to have merged some colors. Oh, good question. I don't know much about the American schooling system, but did you choose art as a subject at school? So I've always kind of done art. Most, since I was little, I got that arts and crafts was kind of a thing for me. I excelled in art class when we had it, but no, I never picked it unless it was an option. I did woodworking, mechanics, or automotive, and I've done anything that I could do with art, I've done. And then music electives, a lot of those. And I went to college 2014 or 2015, something like that, for about 2.5 years, and I got a graphic design degree. So I do a lot with design when I draw and use references. I try to design what I'm doing versus straight copying or of any kind of nature like that. So it's not something, how do I explain it? It's mostly design work in comparison. But did I do this all within the last hour and 20 minutes? No. I drew it a few days ago. And I started coloring. I did the mouth. That took like maybe 10-15 minutes, and I did this up here. And I've colored most of it that you see today in the last hour and 20. I mean, I'm always trying to find some slightly faster methods for this madness, but it doesn't always pan out, so let's see, he's gonna have another one from his lip over here. I mean, technically, I don't know if it would be down here just a little bit. So we'll just bring that subtly over there. Alright, so I know that looks weird and wide, but I will color that in with the background. It'll look a bit more naturalistic. Yeah, it would be. I mean, I'll try to do one sometime where I can do it faster, but as far as getting this look and everything, yeah, no, I don't quite work that fast. But it would be really cool if I could. I'd be fully on board with that. hard part is that this paper stays pretty wet from the ink for quite a while. So it's great for pencils, but not ink. I'd have to do it on my other notebook. I could probably do it faster. Right, yep, no, it's hard to get faster when you have a method for doing things so that it comes out kind of perfect. Yeah, no, incredibly. Yeah, it's the angry carp, Crimson Eye. Its power is intimidate, just as useless as splash. That's how I see it, anyways. I just thought that was kind of a fun play on it, so that's why I went with that. Just a little bit more here. A little bit more red. You wish you could draw like this. Well, it is not that hard, Crimson Eye. I am going to be making more tutorial videos eventually that will be uploaded to YouTube on how to do some of these. Just kind of like where I start, how I kind of grid it out. If you watch the old video from this one, you'll see how many times I kind of struggle. And it happens more when I don't use an actual grid system, so you know, it helps with shapes at least, but I mostly start with a circle to get the basic size, and then I start manipulating that from there. So create a reference point and keep going. The other one, you can do scribble lines. Just make a ton of lines where you think things go, keep moving things around, and eventually you get there. But check out my Arcanine sketch, you'll see that nothing always comes out 100% perfect. Or at least, you know, it looks that way. But the most important thing is to not try to be perfect. So, and then you'll create your own style and everything, and it'll begin to look really cool. But you gotta trust the process, and right now the process is kicking my butt. So, as I'm trying to get this to look more like it should. Get the tones in here and everything that I need to. starting to come to. You just gotta trust it. Promise, it's gonna look cool. All I draw is One Piece characters and monster, but it's always either ones without bodies or just the head because I can't draw bodies for monsters or people. Okay, so I mean, if you can draw a head, you can draw the body. Just think about it in different sizes and shapes and keep going. I know the biggest struggle is getting the sizing and proportions right, but I think, you know, sometimes we need to kind of have a reference piece. Use a light board, and if you see a pose that you like, you know, you're not really copying the pose, but you can do those circles that kind of look like those little wooden humanoid figures to get your poses started, like to a starting point. Copy some circles on, you know, from the shape of the pose to get your sizing and references down. Then add the details of your characters. It's a great way to get started. I did a lot of like Superman and Batman copies. Not really copies, I keep saying that word, but I would use their body shape to get a pose that I liked for my other drawings or superheroes and stuff like that. So nothing has to be exact, but you'll develop your own style. And you know what? Tracing and using a lot of references is the best way to get there. Have I been using markers? Yes, I have been using Faber-Castell, Pip Brush artist pens. I also used a little bit of color pencil for some of this, like I used a little bit in here. I'll be using more in here and here, and on the back probably. Since I don't really have color pencil or markers for that color. And then up here I'll be using pencil as well. And then I might give this a little bit of a background. Just, you know, to kind of add the contrast to it a little bit. It's mostly black and gray, so it'll look really neat. Just to kind of fill it in. Which other Pokemon have I done? Oh boy. Let's dive in. Okay. Hopefully I don't smudge anything. So, in the past, few years ago, I did a Bulbasaur. This was a ballpoint pen and looks like colored pencil. This isn't a Pokemon, but it's an Ewok. Did that in ballpoint pen. Let's see. I got an uncompleted Snorlax that I need to keep working on. Let's see. This song should be banned. I'm gonna change the song real quick. Two of those songs I dislike. Anyways. Got a fire breathing or fire stemming Bulbasaur. Which I haven't finished the ground yet, but you see where that's going. We did a Raichu a while back. Not really my best Raichu. I mean, it looks like it's standing, but the proportions are just slightly off. That was just a quick sketch for fun. I got a Ditto. This one's not done yet. Still work in progress. I just have to add a little bit more in here, blend out some things and some highlights, but the idea is to make it look like a blob. So the fire bulb is, I'm not sure what word that's supposed to be. Thank you for the Ewok comment. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. The Ditto one's fun. I started a Gengar, which I still need to finish. But kind of cool. A little too round for a Gengar, but maybe I can make it look a little less round once I get it colored in to look a little bit more like the actual Gengar shape. And then we got a Dedenne. This is an evolved stage of Dedenne, so it's not the first evolution, it's the second one. I have no idea what to call it though. So, then we did Arcanine. And this is graphite pencil with white pencil. So, just had a little fun with that the other day. There's this time lapse on my social medias with that. We did a Oddish, again 2 rounds, so it looks more like the 7-Up chip from the 7-Up commercials, or maybe something out of Kirby. I still think it's cool, but yeah, no, I kind of goofed that a little, not realizing it, but I did that one from memory, so. And then we have Magikarp. So thank you so much for the follow, Daisy. I appreciate that. But yeah, so you can't get over the Fire Bulbasaur. I'll show you one more time. Yeah, the Fire Bulbasaur was really fun. I like the way the colors came together on that. So yeah, it looks really cool. I wanted to do a little bit more with this on the sky and everything and blend it together, and then it kind of just mushed a little too much. So I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with that, but it still looks cool. And then I tried to put in more gold and yellow over here and it just became blue. So I don't know if I just need to take an eraser to it and try again, but thank you. Yeah. It takes time to shade. Oh, so who was I telling about using shapes to make a pose? So, I mean, I did this in 2020, just messing around with some, like, I think it was probably Copic markers. Yeah, it was Copic. But, you know, you just start with something, and you start kind of seeing how it should come together. I did a robot that's absolutely absurd. Same idea. Not quite right. But I learned some things since then. Again, this was 2020. But, I mean, you know, some things you do get a little better with time. This was all ballpoint pen. No tracing, no grid lines, nothing. Just started really light and kept building up on it. And then you go in harder with the areas that you want to make more solid. Got a Mandalorian. This is based on someone else's art, obviously. I didn't come up with this mashup on my own, but I liked it, so I decided to, you know, kind of draw and color this one day. And my coworker was just like, "Are you ever going to be done with that? Why is it taking so long?" And just made fun of me basically the whole time. Here's a King Kong poster I liked. So some of these I just do while I'm bored at work. And that's kind of where I do these. Aside from at home now, but here's that Ewok again that you requested. It's from a scene in Return of the Jedi where he's eating the cookie from Leia, and he's just sitting on a log eating it. So that's where I came up with. Just took a screenshot of that scene and drew this up. Some of these are all entirely freehand. Now here's one where I goofed up. So, you gotta realize not everything's perfect. But if you look at this one from probably about this angle, it looks about right proportionately with the mouth. But then you look at flat, and I totally goofed up the mouth. It is not on par with the eyes, and I'm off. I'm off on my grid. So what that means is I was sitting down, had this flat on the surface, and I was coloring it, probably in a meeting. That's when I do most of these, is I doodle during meetings. I got Vision over here. See, Vision came out good. So, I should have not done white highlights for her, because it just, the white here, I should have just done what I did with Vision, because I think that looks way cooler. That's all ballpoint pen. But, yeah, it just, here's Mando again. You can look up this picture. The original artist mashed this up. It's really cool, and it's from Death Stranding and Grogu, or Mandalorian. WandaVision? Yeah, that's. I think it's from the poster, or like it could have even been what was on Disney's, like menu for it. Could have been something like that. So I don't recall exactly where I got them from, but that's sort of what I did for those. Oh, what color should I have done if not white highlights? I think what I did with Vision was I changed the background tone, and I used a really light brush pen. So this is warm gray. It's like the lightest one that comes, one of the lightest ones that comes in the kit. And what I did, let's see if I can show you this, is I went on the background and I colored in the whole background so that anything I didn't touch, I don't know if I can show you this, anything I didn't touch with pen would stay lighter than the background, so it looked like highlights. And I should have done that more with Wanda instead of trying to add the white in here, which doesn't necessarily look bad. It didn't look bad in my mind, but as soon as I used white over the ink, it started to blend together. So I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's like blue here from the black ink. So it just kind of messed it up. But lesson learned. Do it the other way. It's a little harder, but it works. I guess what I could have done if I had this is I use Presto whiteout ink for a lot of things. Works really well for Spider-Man webbing and comics and stuff. It's a lot of fun. Very good questions. Pardon me a second, I need to grab a drink. Yeah, I don't know, everything's got a story, you know? I look at art, and when I was going through art school, not really art school, but art classes in school, in college, they would ask us, what does this mean? How does it make you feel? What do you think the artist was feeling? Or what message are they trying to convey? And the only thing I could think about is, at what point did they get pissed? And just mess up their painting and then go back and attempt it again? Like, what was the mental game for it? Some of mine take, like, I spent over 80 hours on that Darkrai, Mimikry drawing. If you look at my other work, it's a combo mashup, and that one I spent a long time on. All colored pencil. I should have used marker and colored pencil, or just done marker, but I got very desirable results with colored pencil. I just used a really crummy paper that was really not toothy enough for all the layers I need to add. So I love working on Tantone for that reason. But let's see here. What do I got? Oh, I see what I had done here. I smudged that. On accident. That's good. Alright, so now my question is, do I put that spike in front of that? I think that might be weird, because the body is not quite that way. Wow, it's already been almost 2 hours. Alright, so we'll do a little bit more. Let's do the background aspect of it, because that'll look really cool. Let's see if I got the colors that I want to use. I gotta find out where my other brush pens are. My inking kit. Traveling sketch kit. Huh. Well, can't really find the one I'm thinking of. Where would I have my other? Oh. Aha! Found him. Probably sounds chaotic. Now I just gotta hope they're not dried out. Ah, I found him. Yeah, no, I found him. Okay. It's that annoying song again. 'Tis terrible. Alright, so I'm gonna put these on. I need a separate place for these at some point. Because I don't want to mix them with my brand new ones. But we'll start with the blue. shadows go lighter. See how it's gonna bode. Oh yeah. No, I'm glad I went with the lighter one first. This still turns out really dark. Holy cow, look at that. Like, so this is Indanthrene Blue 247, and this is Sky Blue 146, and Sky Blue looks nothing like it should, like it probably does on regular paper. Let's see, I got the white background here. Yeah, no, that's really dark. Holy cow, did it get mixed somehow? Because it looks like, I mean, looks like that color. Let's see what this does. No, they're like virtually the same. That's nuts. Okay, well, do I have anything lighter than that? I do. Yeah, this song is so annoying. Okay, let's try this one. Oh, that'll probably look a little more realistic. We can blend that out just a little bit. That's okay that that's dark, by the way, because this will get colored in, so I'm not too worried. And that's just paper. This is where I get to play around a little bit with some of the color. We were talking about moving quickly. This is areas where when it's abstract, it's kind of good to do. You get to be a little bit more free about it. So it's kind of nice. And then this is all darker, so no sense in going too hard on it, but why not finish the Magikarp first? I can, I just, you know, I got to go for work here in like 5 minutes. I decided to add a little bit more color to the background since I found all my pens finally. I also found some colors that I was going to use in here somewhere, but I have no idea how it's going to look, so it all just depends how that's going to come out. We'll see. That might look kind of cool. I'm not sure that's really working out too much for it, but anyways. Yeah, then we'll add some darker sort of smokiness to it. This will all get blended in with black later. And that's just the water ripples. So, show you something cool. If I can find it. Kind of what, like there's gonna be highlights and things in here. I don't know how well this will work, but oh, it's actually working out really nicely. So there will be these that's the eye, the other eye, highlights and things to really bring this out. I'll go back in, color those up a little bit. But so, in all, to get this finished, you got to think about your highlights, your midtones, and your darks, and then your color, saturation, and everything for cohesiveness. So that's kind of where it's at the moment. I'm probably not as close to finished on this as I even think I'd like to be. I'll focus on blending this all together a little better. I do have a white Faber-Castell pit pen, but it does not remotely do very well. To show you kind of what it looks like, is it kind of does something, but it's not very good. So I never really use it all that often. There's even a brush version, and that's even worse. So. But it comes out looking pretty neat. So we will get there and it'll look freaking dope. So then down here's all essentially black. And I sometimes do multiple layers until I get the desired effect that I'm going for. But so, kind of got the layout of what we're going to do, how it's going to look. Yes, it looks like a lot of scribbles right now, but it's going to look pretty awesome. So, have I done any Marvel drawings? Any other ones? Yeah, I've done the Hulk with an Iron Man mashup. Let me see if I can locate those notebooks real quick. Okay, I'll show you this and then I gotta go to work. Oops, sorry for knocking everything. Alright, so I got my notebooks. This is just some of them. Not even my current one or my most other recent one, but I don't know if I drew in my other ones. So this one's got a lot of scratch in it. It's got one of my trips and whatnot. Just flip through kind of briefly. You can see where I kind of started a little bit with some of these gridding and all of that. See, this one's got Hellboy, so that's kind of neat. Some Stranger Things. There's some anime. I took a stab at that. We got Star Wars Theory. So this was before I learned to smear everything, by the way. I'll show you when I started getting more into it. We got Spider-Man. Thought that was kind of a fun one. We got Thanos. Ray, some other ones. Got Terminator. This one always looks really cool. So, we got Venom. I started using different black ink too. And we got Ray and Kylo. And these are all those Faber-Castell Pit pens. Got another one, but that's not original again. A lot of these early on were very similar. You got Sonic to other people's work, so like this one's a popular one that's out there. I just happen to like it. But thank you, Yen Daisy. I appreciate that. We got Jean-Luc Picard. This was from his most recent Star Trek show. Oh, this was this was fun. This was a thing from a arcade at the movie theater. Let's see. We got Hugh Laurie. Not my best portrait work, as I kind of jacked up his eyes, but still looks kind of cool for the style. That is a Hellraiser, something like that. Something I started a long while ago, never finished. My attempt at John Wick from memory, but this was based on another image. I don't think this was mine. Wait, that wasn't my John Wick from memory. Hold on, sorry. My John Wick from memory looks gaudy. That's not the one from memory. That one is. So, that's the one I used just a brush and went for it, but that one's a reference. Has to be. I don't know if I did that entirely on my own. Cthulhu. This one took a while. I did this during meetings. And that is all colored from a black and white too. black and white photo that I made it color. So it took a while. We got Majora's Mask in this one. So pretty cool. You might know what this one is. Big O. I do these. These are usually my planners. This is what I make on my planners and stuff. And this is where I started smearing and blending, I think, some of my work. I did it up here too on these ones. And a little bit before that too. But yeah, when I started figuring out how to smear them all, I was able to get really good results. And on this paper too, if you don't use Lickderm bullet journal paper, it doesn't quite always have the same effect. This has like some weird shellac on it that keeps the ink from kind of fully going through, but you can see it kind of does. So yeah. And we got Mr. Robot. Went a little bit too dark on his eye right there. But we got this is where it starts to look a little better. But yeah, that one, same idea, same pens. I need to stop using white, I feel like, when it has to do with the realism. I should really just stick to the tone of the paper as the tone. And darkening around it, but because I did that here, as you can see, it's all just regular. There's no white highlights. But then we got Metroid. This is based on someone else's art. Again, I do a lot of the things I see and like to practice. It's only more in the last like 4 to 5 years that I've branched out and done a lot of my own. Like original. So for the most part, you still gotta have a reference of some kind. A lot of people do. But Norman Reedus, here's when I started. So you can see how I have, maybe this will help. So I got my reference of Black Panther, and then I started my base layers and where I was drawing. So you can kind of see where I'm going with it. Trying to get it to line up. But maybe one day I'll finish that again. So let's see what else. There you go. There's Iron Man. Not my best work, but Endgame Iron Man. Another random scribble. Okay, so that's one book. What am I at? 420? Okay. I got time. Then I have one where I just started getting really random. I don't know if I was just bored or what, but just drawing some random things with some different pens. This one right here is a city, and I have no idea what I was thinking at the time. I'm sure it's all written in here somehow, but just had fun messing around with letters and kind of journaling a little bit, maybe short stories. Don't know what I was doing with this one. That one's kind of different. Just having a little fun. Again, a lot of these I'm just messing around with. Some more that I was just messing around with. I wonder what I wrote. Yeah, just random writings. Let's see. Got some random horses. This looks like it was a house on a cliff at some point. I might have gotten some new markers and was messing around. Okay, so this one's really empty in comparison to what I thought. Huh. Oh, it's a lot of notes. Okay, so I do get a new book every year. If I don't use it up, that's just what happens. This one's also pretty heavily beat. Let's see. So there's a random one. There's another one of my kind of journal. I can back this out just a little bit. There you go. So that's just one that I did. Again, during a meeting, I was bored. You know, added a little fall decoration when I made this one. No idea what month that is. I think I would have put it somewhere. But another random one. I was working on perspective. So you'll realize that in some drawings, not everything is going to be perfect. That's the whole point of it. You're experimenting. It's to have fun. That's what these notebooks are. So this one was designed to have a different perspective from each direction you turn the book. It's not to look entirely exactly the same, but to have different horizons and gravities and whatnot. So then you turn it this way and you got this guy down here looking up basically at this guy. And then you rotate again. And you got some weird thing eating. I don't know if it's like an anthill or what I did there. This was years ago. I was bored. And I have no idea if I was doing anything on this side yet or not. But yeah, I forgot all about that one. Forgot I ever did that one. Let's see what else I got. Some other random drawings. By the way, I learned about perspective on this from this one. When you have a railing or a bridgeway, you would think it's going to have angled things. Straight lines up and down will give you that 3D effect. So don't do what I did. Make it look like railroad tracks. But something that took me a minute to learn. I don't know why I did it wrong the first time, but whatever. And this one's just randomly weird. Just kept going. No idea, but there's this tiny little turtle down here in this little world on a different planet, and then there's like this creepy vampire-like guy with, or bat guy with claws, so no idea what I was thinking when I did that one. That's probably what most artists, like when you look at their paintings, that's probably what it is. They have no idea what they were doing, or forget all about it, like why they were in that mood, why they made it. This was based on someone else's sketch. I kind of took the idea because I wanted to experiment with scenery a little bit, and I think it had something to do with this, the edges. Getting a lot better with that, doing scenery and stuff, just messing around. Here's another one. I think I was doing a lot of scenery in these. One I never finished either. There's one I did. And this was also based on another tutorial someone else had posted. Someone else had posted it, so that's one that I did. But Vivarium vibes. I don't know what Vivarium is. But there's a random one. Probably got mad and destroyed it. Another tutorial one that I did back in 2020. So these aren't my tutorial. These are like me following someone else's tutorial. And again, I'm just doing it for fun to experiment, you know, with this one's a little bit with depth. Fast ways to kind of create some scenery and stuff. This one's a little bit fun. I got a deer here, and there's Bigfoot in here somewhere. I added Bigfoot very nonchalantly in the trees. And I think this one I was setting with a little bit of reflection, and then ghosting out, kind of like a fog in the background. Just having a little bit of fun with it. Yeah, I haven't gone through a lot of these in a while. Here's some random little Star Wars thumbnails I did. Let's see. I had a child, I think, prompt me on this one. So I was just drawing kind of what he prompted. Yeah. No idea what that one was. So for those of you that don't know, I work with kids. This one I did over a long period of time, and I just kept adding to it. Like thing after thing after thing. No reference on this, no nothing. Just all, like, I think it's just what's that brand called? Fine Point Pen. But yeah, I just had a lot of fun with that. Got Queen's Gambit. So that was a lot of fun. I even messed up. I went too far on this one, as you can see, and I got a hole in here, so I got a hole right here. So I went in and kind of colored the back so it matched through it. Oh, there you go. There's Kong and Godzilla. That's based on someone else's art, but I thought it looked cool, so I recreated it. Yeah, Queen's Gambit one is pretty fun. We got Mortal Kombat when that came out. A lot of them are, I'll be honest, are like movies or TV shows that I was like into at the time. So stuff I was watching. This was Skate the Infinity or something like that. And it's not my best work, but it was fun creating it. So I sort of goofed a little bit on some of the shapes and designs and whatnot. But I had fun. What else do we got in here? That had to have been some sort of D&D character that I was starting. Monster. And this was to eventually enter in for a graphic design contest for the next logo for a school. Someone said I should take some stuff and submit it. I don't know if I ever did that. This is from a game. I want to say it's Myst. And it's like my cheat book so I can play the game and win. Another one that I probably ended up towards the end of the year and didn't finish. So, but what's unique is I take a lot of notes on things in my books. I do, I work with kids in mental health and other things, and now I work with kids in autism, which is why I gotta go soon. So this one I did. I don't recall if I had a reference for this or not, but it was cool. It's this murder, I think it was like a murder hornet or a giant mosquito. But I add in little blurby things. That one was kind of just fun, whatever sketches. Did some pointillism, as you can see in there. I had a kid that just absolutely loved sharks and absolutely loved the cat. I can't remember what that cat's name is. It's based on a show or a book, something like that. And yeah, see, just random sketching things. All right, last book. All right, so this one's got some more cool stuff in it. Here's another one I did. It's almost like the previous book. Kind of a similar beginning. And I did a Thanksgiving thumbnail in there. So there's Death Stranding. Another Norman Reedus. I really like this one. Mad Max. Let's see, Spider-Man. I think that was for No Way Home with the Venom, but I don't know. I don't know if it's just a fan concept or what, but somebody kind of had that up in a 3D format, so I don't know if it was AI or what, but I liked it, so I copied it somewhat. Got another Boba Fett. Got some Pokemon. Let's see. Some more architectural things I started. No idea what I was doing here. Oh, that's a plane that I scribbled up. And there we go. That's another one I did. It's not 100% done, but I left it where it's at for now. Love this movie. I thought it was so good. But had a lot of fun drawing that one up. A Ghostbusters one I never finished. Here's a Hawkeye I never finished. Color tones were not quite there yet, but getting there. Random Shark. Yeah, sorry, these are kind of weird flip-throughs. I wonder if this one had the dinosaur at the end. That's the show that I was talking about, that cat. I had a kid that just really liked that cat and mouse thing. So I always had to draw one almost every session I had with that kiddo. And then here we go. This one took over 28 hours. I actually marked how long it took. But I'm not sure how accurate this is of a skull, but it looks cool. So go with it, right? But yeah, that's all just pointillism. Using a micron pen. So, yep. Those are my books. And then you saw the tone tanned one. That's kind of where it's left off at it. Now, I'm sure there's a chance that I have more around, more notebooks. I feel like I have another tone tan book I've used. Oh, I could show you. Well, no, I can't show you that book. That one is my book of money ideas, and I'm not sharing those. Yeah, I have more notebooks of just random sketches and things. But that's the ones I know the location of at the moment. So I will do more and share more and whatnot. But for now, as I leave you guys with these parting words and the utmost gratitude for joining in this stream today and hanging out. We will work on Magikarp. I hope you have a wonderful day today and tomorrow. I should be on again tomorrow. I will look at my schedule, but I think I'll be able to do the regular time around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I'm hoping 10 to 1 tomorrow. We'll finish Magikarp. I don't think Magikarp will take much longer. And then I gotta add some coloring in here, some shading. It'll look really cool. But it'll all come together and look really neat. So, yeah, the dinosaur skull. Yep. I really enjoy those. I like doing the pointillism stippling or whatever you call it. It's just really time consuming, and there's not a lot of skill involved except having very precise dots. It's a very slow process, and so you can do a lot, like draw a lot. You can mess up essentially and just kind of add more dots to bring it together, because odds are you're never using enough dots in those areas. But it is a lot of fun, and to do it really neat and clean, it takes a little practice, but I do enjoy those. I'll have to do one again someday. We'll just see. I did have an idea of doing one, either a Pokemon or something else, and individually mixing every color for each dot, kind of like in some of those arts that you see, but on a larger scale. Like, so each dot would be the size of a quarter kind of scale instead of the size of a Q-tip or a dot in general. But we'll see. We will see what I have the capacity for. Anywho, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thanks for watching and hanging out. Catch me again tomorrow at around 10 o'clock. Hopefully. As long as everything goes well. And I bid you all adieu for today. I know, that's weird. I don't know how to make a closing yet. What works for a closing and all that. I bid you farewell. I said good day, sir. So, if you haven't followed, please follow Yendazy. I'm pretty sure you followed. If you haven't liked the page. Everything helps. Share it, like it. Eventually, I'm going to be working on a page. I'll be selling some limited, prints of some of these things, and then you can have your own copy, But I will get those together eventually. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out.